Hello everyone and welcome back to Crater City, and this time I thought, since the discussion that went down last time with my big mining trip, which I managed to exhaust the resources of within an hour, we should try and discuss another topic today. So I thought we'd go with a big interesting one, as last time's was a little bit more less grounded in reality, for want of a better term. So this one is, we are discussing the nature of the self. So I'm going to do that whilst I work on getting rid of a lot of the old architecture here at the gold farm, so we can switch over to the side that you can see on the right hand side of the screen, my left, which is a lot more efficient and a lot more effective. So, oh yes, I should show you this, guys, shouldn't I? Over here we have a new addition to the golem farm. See, the golems are extremely, they inherit like extremely high health. I think they have something like 100 health. So we've got the golem softener here, which dispenses a bit of lava in the back there, where they tend to bunch up anyways, because this is fairly close quarters for iron golems. And that keeps the lava out for just long enough for the golems to take a whole ton of damage and then burn for a bit, and they will end at 1 full heart. That is 2 health. So we'd usually, once you've hit that and they've stopped burning, take 2 punches. But instead we have this, the potion resupply. So this creates splash potions of harming. Level 1, because they don't need to be any higher. And that is more than enough to kill basically any softened golems in here. And if we push the button, then it will do a check to see if it has all of the ingredients, which is noted by there being these lights all turned off. And if that is so, then just like our system over by the witch farm, then the signal goes through, the dispensers, well, the droppers shoot into the line and they create a new batch of the potions. Also, above here, we have an item elevator coming from the chest we saw down there on the left, which then runs into this sorting system, which puts all of the different items in their right place. So we only have to stick stuff into one chest, and it all gets sorted through for us, even going straight down to a buffer for water bottles, which is right here on the side. I can't actually reach that because of the hitbox on this hopper, but other than that, you'd be able to tell that it's full of water bottles, which is why this is full of water bottles, and this is full of water bottles. But this is running quite levelly. I don't have much of a need at this precise moment for iron, so we'll just leave that to build up a bit further. And anyways, the concept of self. So what is self? It can mean a lot of different things depending on the context, but in this particular video at least, the concept that we are interested in it meaning is the nature of a person. So we're talking things like the part of a person that tells them that they went to Glasgow last summer on a holiday, although I can't imagine why you would. And it's the part of a person that tells them that they grew up with these people and that they like to eat this kind of food and that sort of thing. And the way that our brains tell us this is memories, basically. We recognize these things, we know these things, we understand these things, etc, etc, etc. And I need to go in more over here, don't I? Oh, this needs to go entirely. Right, let's go for that. Whoop, that was a bad one. That happens every now and then, right? So, self has an interesting existence inside of human beings, because it's entirely drawn from our memories. Our memories are part of our neurons and all sorts. And so, the way it happens is that you remember certain things, and those things inform your decisions and your opinions and your views of basically everything. Now, this would not be a particular issue, except for an old philosophical concept called Theseus's ship. Now, my knowledge of Greek mythology is not quite how it used to be, but the gist of it is that in his journey, the ship of Theseus took quite a bit of damage and had to be repaired on a fairly frequent basis. So boards were replaced, nails rehammered, that kind of thing. Such that by the end of Theseus's journey, the ship that he was sailing in had not a single nail or plank from his original ship as it left the port. And so the question then becomes, is it still in fact the same ship? Now, this is a problem. If we assume that everything that we are, everything that describes a person, amounts to the sum of their memories, then we have an issue, because that sum of memories is constantly developing and constantly growing and changing over time, such that people can change their minds over a lot of things, and they can change their opinions over a lot of things as well. They can also get cemented into them depending on the exact content of the memories in question. But we imprison people, and we give them, say, parole dates and such, on the basis that they will conceivably become someone else, that their experiences inside will teach them forgiveness and they'll be rehabilitated, that these people, basically on the basis that these people can change. But if our understanding of that is based on who they were when we sentenced them, then how different is the person going to be 5 years down the line, a year down the line, a few months down the line? How quickly do we change as individuals based on our experiences and our memories? How quickly does our sense of self alter? Ooh, this one's gonna hurt. Yep, I was right. Dude, that's some company. Hey. So the nature of self as a shifting state, has a shifting symptom of a collection of memories. It's fairly well grounded in reality. We know where memories are stored. We know how the brain functions. Maybe not in totality, but certainly in mechanism, which is to say, neurons, networks, and the like, things that I specialize in. Does this want to go this way? Does it want to go this way? I'm not sure. Whoop. Oh hey, company. Go away. I can shoot farther than your tracking can. Thank you. Apologies for the noise, the thing is quite loud. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3. So yeah, this one. Whoop. Yeah, that's a new feature, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, this wants to go out here now, kind of a step, which is fine. We can do that. We can't leave this here because then I'll just keep walking onto it. So the way that your brain works is that you've got neurons. Neurons are little cells in your brain that connect to the cells around them, including other neurons, and they take stimulus from your senses, so your sense of heat, your sense of touch, your sense of taste, your sense of sight, and all sorts. We have a large variety, more senses than people like to think, actually. And the neurons examine these inputs that they're receiving, and they chemically determine their value and such until they determine the proper response. That response is then altered and affected by various chemicals that are going around in your brain, which neurons in themselves can actually also trigger. So senses like happiness and gleefulness and even riskiness, and certainly I imagine a great deal of more animalistic base urges are heavily responsible by virtue of chemicals released in your brain. Some of these can actually also get you off the hook in terms of legal courts and autonomy. Oop. Oh, hi there. How are you guys? All manner of disrupted tonight, aren't I? You want some too? Have some. Right. Where was I? Right, yes, neurons. Now, whenever a neuron processes a new experience, which is what we'll use as shorthand for these things that become memories, it encodes it chemically within itself. That is to say, every neuron remembers a fair chunk, at least, of the things that it has previously, of the data sets that it's previously had to run through from your senses. So your neurons remember, and they alter, and they change over time. They consider that this thing has a great deal of weight, maybe I shouldn't change quite so drastically towards something new, but by and large, you are what your memories make you. This whole idea came to me when I was watching the movie Total Recall, the remake of Total Recall, I should be clear. The Arnold Schwarzenegger version does not touch on this much at all, in which there is an organization, I don't know if I'd call it a corporation, but it's definitely a service and nothing else, called Recall. And they deal in providing you with memories which are not your own, memories which are definitely not things you have actually experienced, and memories that ultimately describe a reality that you do not live in and have not lived in and will not live in. It's a fantasy. So you get these fantastical things implanted into your brain in the hopes that you'll enjoy them and you'll consider your life that bit more interesting, but in reality it's all fake. Now, even if the information that you were being spliced with, for want of a better term, was true, we have a problem with that idea, which is that once you lose a firm grasp on which memories are real and which memories are false, your sense of self begins to decay, corrode, fall apart. You don't know what is real anymore, you don't know who you are, and that's indeed a long-standing theme inside of the series. So, if you don't know who you are, you have no sense of self. And in the course of the movie, the lead character, I'm just not going to respond as to who he is, learns that his memories are a complete fiction, made so that he... Whoa, I did not expect to see you guys coming along here. Sorry. That actually spooked me a little bit. Oh, and I'm on fire a bit. Yeah, my chunky old arm was falling out there. Hey, okay. Honestly, make me lose my train of thought a dozen different times. Yeah. Try now. So we need that kind of sense of continuity. We need to know that the person that we remember ourselves being is indeed the same person that we are right now. Now this is a huge problem when you have, say, some big, potentially life-altering decision to make, or some big key event in your life unfolds in ways that you previously wouldn't have thought of. So you start to then question, am I who I think I am? Who am I? This quest for self. And the answer is that we are that shifting baseline. We are that summation of our memories, and sometimes that leads to us becoming people that we previously wouldn't have considered that we would become, or could even become. Let's go into a bit more of this. So, for example, I used to be extremely religiously militant. I was, am, and always probably will be an atheist, but I was a lot more aggressive in my advocation of that, and I admit to the detriment of those around me in a lot of ways. Not theologically, but certainly socially. I've got a lot better about social issues in general, so I apologize to anyone who might have been offended at me at that particular point in time. I've got a lot more socially sensitive in general as a rule, but anyways, if I was to travel back in time and meet myself from that kind of era, that foolish, naive kind of me, I'm not entirely convinced I would enjoy that person's company. But that person is me. So, this sense of self, here is me, here is, like, the entirety of my personal memory baseline is contains that person. But I am not that person, so where exactly does how does my sense of self factor that in? Well, the answer is it doesn't have to. The answer is that it has done it, and it has gradually altered its baseline over time. It's no longer that person. It remembers all of that person, but the information isn't quite as meaningful anymore. Yep. Okay, let's go over this way then. memories. Right, good. So yeah, humans as a shifting baseline built up from memories of past experiences means that when you're messing with memories like that, it's extremely dangerous. And it also should give you an idea of exactly how terrifying degenerative neural diseases like Alzheimer's, like dementia, just like plain senility, really. Should give you an idea of just how terrifying memory loss and amnesia and all sorts can actually be. Because if you are conscious of your loss of memories, then it's an annoyance, it's a worry, certainly, but it's chiefly speaking just an, damn it, I forgot what my keys are kind of thing. But if you don't realize that you're forgetting things, if it's not something that you can consciously recognize or realize, then your baseline self, your sense of self, is failing. Your sense of self is falling apart on a potentially like minute-by-minute basis. And that, to me, at least, is the most terrifying possibility that could ever befall me. Whether I will end up getting Alzheimer's at some point in my life is a question that constantly haunts me. And there is no history of Alzheimer's in my family. It's just a disease that really scares me. And there are few things these days that actually scare me, as my vast collection of horror movies can no doubt attest. Okay, that's one done. To fix up that one now. Which I suppose leads into the value that we put in the concept of the sense of self. The need to know who we are at any particular given moment is so powerful that we consider it with such massive regard. We consider that we have to stay the person that we were 20 years ago, 30 years ago, even just a year ago. We find it terrifying to find this idea that our baseline has changed, that our self has changed, that we have changed. So it's why, in most circumstances, there are different contexts, people changing their minds, or changing their opinions, or having a change of heart, can generally be construed as a negative thing, as something bad. And this isn't really the way that we should be looking at it. Because we're always changing. Every single second of our day we are changing into who we will be that next second. Not drastically, no, it's much more, for want of a better term, and this does villainize it a bit, it's a much more insidious kind of situation. Yep. Okay, yeah, that's nearly perfect. So, why do we villainize this sense of changing over time? Why do we villainize this baseline function of our brains? Predisposition, really. Our brains are wired to like the things that they're used to, that they're comfortable with, and villainize the things that they're less comfortable with. And the consequence of this is that people have very strong opinions about things that are really nonsensical and don't make much sense and shouldn't really be fought for. It all keys in, at its baseline, it all keys into our neurology. Our neurons like things that have worked out well in the past for them, and they don't like things that might not. Things that they don't recognize so well, things that they're not used to or accustomed to and such. But with that, I think you've seen me tearing apart Obsidian for enough today. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this subject. I'm very happy to discuss a whole wide variety of subjects, so leave comments also suggesting topics that you'd like me to talk about next time. I'm having a lot of fun doing these kind of videos, where I'm just doing mindless busy work on the compound, and hope you've enjoyed it. And with that, from here, inside of the in-progress Gold Farm renovations, I shall catch you next time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or favorite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now, catch you later.